Google's always changing. I mean, in December, of 2025, so not that long ago, they just came out with another, broad core algorithm update. Or anything you're finding with that or have found with that? I know it's pretty fresh.
Yeah, well, I mean, it always takes us some time to truly, reverse what Google's been doing, but we're already aware that this broad algorithm update was focused primarily on two things. First of all, EATT, which is expert authoritativeness, trustworthiness, etc. And that has to do more with like the content itself, and what's behind it, who's behind it, right? Whereas and frankly the factual nature of the content and professionalism. But what's happening is, well, and what they basically do is they tweak the signals, right? Like the signals they were using, they add more weight to some and then they reduce weight to others. So it kind of just shifts everything around. But that was a big focus of this, and part of the reason is that they're in a really tough spot, right? And they have been ever since the advent of AI. We all know that there's been a lot more writing ever since it was discovered that on the internet you can rank when you write about stuff or the stuff that you wrote about, especially with the advent of SEO and all that other stuff. Uh, but there's been a massive flood, like to the nth degree, ever since the creation of AI, because you can literally have it write thousands of words for you by typing one sentence or asking it to just write an article about whatever. So there's a lot of junk content out there, and Google has been having a hard time, frankly, sifting through it to determine what's credible and what isn't. So they're constantly tweaking based off of the factors they're looking at, the various ranking factors they're looking at to try and surface the good stuff, right, from people that are actually authoritative in that space, and are giving good information to people, as opposed to some junky blog that just puts up AI articles every day or something like that. So yeah, that was the primary focus.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point of just the influx of all of this content because it's easy. It's a couple clicks, and then a lot of it's not great with it. It's just that avalanche of AI slop that's being generated because of how easy it is. And one thing I know that we've been finding, even before that, but really, I think even more so now, is the power of brand. And brands have always been important. I mean, having a good brand that predates the internet, right? But I think the way that the brand is perceived now from an SEO standpoint has changed quite a bit over the years. You mentioned some junky blogger that doesn't really rank for anything and probably never will rank for anything, no matter how great they have their AI content come out to be. And that's just because they don't have the brand around it. Is that, I guess, how does brand impact SEO right
Yeah,
now?
right. Well, more than it ever has, and that's part of that EATT side of things, is that your brand is your online reputation, effectively. I mean, in a lot of ways, there are a couple other factors in there, but from a digital perspective, that's what it is. And if you're a big brand, if you're a household name, um, they're looking at the fact that you're mentioned all over the web. It's not just links anymore. It's did somebody mention you in a news article, right? Those mentions, those citations can have an impact, as much of an impact in some cases as a link could. So kind of your popularity slash branding, is very valuable. But it's gone to another level as well. Ever since the 2024 Google leaks, we know with 100% certainty that they're using Chrome data and usage data on websites to determine, um, what what's authoritative and what people like, right? So if somebody goes to your website and they hate it, they're going to leave within a second or two. Whereas if everybody stays for 5 minutes, Google's like, okay, we should give this a second look. But they don't just say, we're looking at the average session duration, 5 minutes or more, we're going to give them a rank boost. They tie that information together with content, with other ranking factors that they're looking at to determine if it's authoritative, right? So that blog that you're talking about, that crummy AI slop blog that's just pooping out a bunch of blog articles, with AI content. If people show up on the site but they don't stay, they don't read, they don't interact in a way that indicates that they actually care a great deal about the content, or the content itself is really good, then it's not going to have the positive impact that these people think, right? So that's why branding's so important. Well, that's one aspect of it. That's why how it actually helps SEO. On the other side, it helps your actual sales, right? So if 100 people come to your website and you don't have a strong brand, you might get a phone call, right? But if you have a strong brand, you'll get three, and that's what we call conversion rate optimization, or a better conversion rate, right? So branding has that impact on both sides. It's got it on the top funnel, right, for SEO, and then it's got it right at the bottom funnel. When people trust you, they trust your brand, they will buy.